Hello and welcome to Mike's Garage. I'm really glad to see you back. Wait a minute, I didn't see you in the first place. That's all right. Anyway, I know you're there and I'm glad. First thing I have to say is if you haven't already subscribed, please do. And when you do, please tap on the notification bell. And if you get around to it, you could also click a couple of likes. That really helps too. Okay. Let's get on to this thing. What can I say? It's been really hot in the garage. That's been my biggest excuse. But I did get busy when nobody was looking, and I wanted to show how to put this front end together. The problem is I spent all afternoon assembling it, and truthfully, it takes all afternoon. And to walk a person through it, it would really take a lot of time. So I'm going to explain it. In our last video, we had attached the main leg and the stem and the bearings onto the frame. Again, this is just a mock-up. If all this stuff looks bad, how cool, because when we do it in the final assembly, it's all going to be beautiful. I don't do rat bikes, and I don't do bare metal. So it's going to be pretty. I like pretty. Okay, moving right along. So in order to assemble the rest of this front end, what you do is you have this front leg with its two studs sticking up, and you put the lower springs on. You just slide them on, and then you slide this this front leg up into position. There's two bushings in the top here that go right on, and the two smaller springs. But you don't put those on yet. First, you get it attached down here with the rockers. In fact, when Mike just came out here, I was just going to get some thread chasers to do these studs. But anyway, the rockers slide together real easy. Then you can let the whole thing hang. It won't fall. Then you put the top springs on, and what I did is I got one of my little cheapo tie-downs that has a ratcheting buckle. So I was able, that's why the axle is on here. I put an axle on here. I ran the tie-down all the way up and into this cross piece here and just ratcheted on up and was able to then put the nuts on at the top, the springs and the nuts. Of course, once I got the big nuts on there, I said, hey, you know, I have this cool piece that my friend Junior gave me a long time ago, and that's this brass piece here, which is considered a stabilizer. It is called a spring rod stabilizer. Fits 1930 to 1948 front ends. Can you see on top of that? Can you show that? Be kind of neat to see. I thought about polishing all of that stuff off of there, and then I realized by the time I finished polishing it off, the part would be pretty thin. So it's going to stay, and I'm going to do it like that. Another thing I wanted to mention is when I first came up with this top clamp and riser set here, I called them bronze because I thought they were. Someone corrected me and said they were brass. Well, they can be brass with a little copper in them. The interesting thing is I've collected brass things all my life, and I'm not a metallurgist. My grandfather could stand across the yard and tell you exactly what was in these metals. He knew that stuff. This piece is a very yellow brass. This is a brass or a bronze with some copper in it. I don't know what the alloy is. So we're going to have a whole bunch of different shades of brass on this bike, and I really don't care. I think they'll all look just great and be happy together. So anyway, once you get that piece on there, I put that on there because I thought it was cool. And again, one of my favorite people gave it to me. Then I put the risers on. I said, well, you know, I could put the bars on and show everybody that. I've got a couple more things. I'm going to order a new nut for the top here. This is just a spanner that just lives here. It doesn't really belong there. There's one down below. And we will put a proper nut on top of that, and I think it's going to look real good. And then we'll probably have to make a headlight bracket. So that stuff is basically done for the moment, and I have a couple of other things I have to do, and I've been asked for a few things, and when I get asked repeatedly, I say, all right, I'll do it. And it has to be something that needs to be done here too. It isn't just, I'm going to drop everything, invest dollars in what you'd like to see. Not going to happen. But the things that need to be done, I'm really glad that somebody wants to see them. One of the things I need to do is, not on this bike, but on the panhead. There's a bushing that goes in with the seat post, bushing that goes into the frame. And I've had people ask me about servicing the seat post. So what I'm going to do is put the panhead on the lift. I'm going to pull the seat post out. I'm going to pull the bushing out. I'm going to put a new one in. And so we will do that. In fact, Mike is handing me that bushing right now. This is the bushing that goes to the seat post. This bike has one in pretty nice shape. My panhead has one that is completely worn out. And so I'm putting a new one in. They didn't have the tool available for it, which I wanted to buy. So I'll bet I can come up with something. We'll get it. Anyway, so we're going to do that one on one of the next videos. Another one of the next videos that I've been asked for repeatedly is rebuilding a Kickstarter or assembling a Kickstarter assembly on a 4-speed. And so this bike needs one. I'm going to have to order a few pieces for it. We'll get those together and we'll do a video on that. So we're going to be catching up real fast here. But for now, I just really wanted to show the front end because I'm excited about it, having it all back together. I got it back from the frame shop in pieces, and since I didn't take it apart, putting it together was kind of interesting. But there really aren't that many parts to it. It's not real hard to put together, and to quote myself, there it is. So we're going to be doing those other videos real soon. Thank you for showing up. Sorry I didn't for a while. And until then, see you out on the road.